All right, tell me if this sounds familiar or if you are the same like I am, or if you are reacting the same like I do. So I'm the kind of person, there are two things that I always have in mind when working. That is, first, I try to find the issue of a problem and try to find a solution. Secondly, I never blame another person. I always look for the issue with me or with whatever I am doing around me. I'm never looking at a different person that I can blame. That is just not in my DNA. I never want to blame a different person. I firstly always look within myself or within the work that I am doing. And that is to a fault sometimes, especially yesterday. So I'm doing this freelance project right now, and they planned or are planning to keep me for 4 to 6 weeks. So it was intended for a very long time. And truth to be told, there's a lot to do, and I get why they wanted that. But before we started last weekend, they also said, oh, we had some production issues where we kind of need to shift the scheduling around a little bit. Do you think you can kind of work faster, or is there any way where we can kind of do something a little bit more efficiently? And I was like, hey, you're my client. I will do everything in my might and my possibilities to get this project as fast as possible, and in a way that you feel secure and feel that we are making up time. So I started on the weekend, and just like they kind of requested and were asking for, I tried to work as fast as possible. My to-do list was to be finished. Today is Thursday. My to-do list was until Thursday, we need 2 of the, let me just guesstimate. I think it's like 20 assets or 20 films that I need to make. And they said like, okay, we need to have 2 of the main films finished by Thursday. If we're finished earlier, that's great, but Thursday is the due date. I'm a really fast editor. I'm good at what I'm doing, and they know that. They actually, not only the one that hires me, that pays me, obviously those people, I don't know what to say. I'm sometimes not sure if the people that are paying are always kind of genuine in what they're saying, because obviously they also need to balance the budget and stuff like that. So there is always some type of political communication involved, let's call it that. But I know from all of the other people in the team, they're always kind of giving me very positive feedback about the quality of my work and my speed. So I was 2 days early. I finished 2 days before my due date to finish those 2 films. Because I knew they were all kind of in somewhat of a trouble, because the time scheduling was a little bit minimized due to some production difficulties, which can happen, don't get me wrong. No one is to blame but the bad weather. So we were or are a little bit on the time crunch. So I did everything in my might to finish that 2 days early. And I was also told, hey, whenever you have time, already start with the other assets that you need to do. I did. And I'm actually working from my perspective, and considering that this is only the 5th, today is the 5th, no, today is the 6th day. So yesterday was the 5th day of the project. I already worked on so many of the to-do lists, but I didn't tell anyone. I just worked on that because everything that I was working on is due next week, but I already started like I was told. So hey, whenever you have the time, continue working. And as I said, I finished 2 days early. So in my mind, I was way ahead. And in my mind also, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they want me for 4 to 6 weeks, but I'm already so much ahead of schedule, which unfortunately also would mean that I probably won't be paid that much as I was anticipating, because I am that fast. And I obviously only charge for the time that I'm working and not for the time that they book me. That's just how I do things. So unless we kind of agree on, okay, this is the time that you book me, that's what I get paid. But usually I just charge for the amount of time that I'm working. So me being fast is a two-sided sword. On one hand, it's obviously good for the client. On the other hand, it's bad for me because I obviously don't get paid that much. But I just know everyone is happy with my work and they are returning clients, and they have been. And they know that I work fast. So what happened is, yesterday everyone of the team that I'm working with was in a lot of meetings. So I was working alone. I prepared everything that wasn't even needed this week. I finished everything that I had to do for this week early. So in my mind, I'm really good to go on in terms of scheduling, in terms of what I need to do, what I need to deliver. Everyone was in meetings, so no one could give me kind of answers to the questions that I had. But I thought, okay, I'm really far ahead. I didn't even make lunch because I thought, hey, I have a salad, I can work and eat at the same time. So I was really diligent about my work. But as you can tell here, I'm commuting. Parking fees in Hamburg are expensive. I pay 30 euros per day just to park, depending on how long I am. And then I need 90 minutes in traffic to get home. So I thought, hey, let's beat traffic and let's maybe cut off 1 hour from that expensive parking fee. And I asked the team, hey, all of you are in meetings, right? And I'm actually really good to go. So is it okay for you if I leave an hour early? Also in my mind, I didn't say that, but in my mind, I also came in half an hour early and I didn't make any lunch break. So I thought I did everything to my capabilities right. And the team, the creative team said like, yeah, sure, we are in meetings anyways, and go home. The producer then contacted me and said like, hey, it's okay if you leave like an hour early, but if you leave early, please make sure that you next time come early, because we have so much to do. We don't want to kind of miss the work that we have to do and don't like miss the speed that we're running at. And I'm like, what? Why? Well, so in my mind, the first thing that happened was like, oh, am I working too slowly? Am I working terribly? What the hell have I been doing wrong? And I was really confused about that and had an extremely bad feeling, because again, I'm looking for mistakes in myself, and I thought like, oh no, is this client unhappy with the work that I'm doing? So I asked him, so I totally understandable, but I came early today and you were all in the meeting and I didn't get any replies. So I thought I was good to go. Plus, I finished 2 days early. Plus, we are set to have this job for 35 days actually, and I already finished these and these and these and these things off my to-do list that, as you said yesterday, were due next week. So I don't really understand where this feeling is coming from. And he was like, oh, okay, oh, you have already done so much. I didn't have a good feeling, to be quite honest, and I thought we are late. And I said, why did you think that? Because I finished everything that you wanted me to do for this week 2 days early. So I'm confused, and he didn't reply to that. Said just like, oh, okay, then I feel good that everything is in order. And I was looking for everything where I was wrong, and I talked to my wife, and I was then also getting a little bit angry because what the hell? I'm doing everything in my mind. I am doing even better than requested. So yeah, as I said, to a fault, I'm always looking for the mistakes in myself, trying to find solutions. And I'm not blaming anyone else. Although in this case, I could blame someone else, because if all of the other people wouldn't have been in meetings, I could have been even faster. I mean, I'm already fast. I already done work that is supposed to be done 2 days earlier. I've done work for the next week, so I have nothing to be blamed for. But again, it's a really I'm a solution-based person, but to a fault, as I said. Sometimes I blame myself, which isn't healthy. And today I woke up and I said like, okay, my wife's asked me, hey, how are you doing? And I said like, oh, my brain was still processing everything from yesterday. Although rationally speaking, last night I was realizing I'm not to blame. Everything is good. I was working fast. I got good feedback from the team. So only one person that was kind of like worried that I was too slow is totally unjustified. So rationally speaking, I was good to go, but emotionally my brain was obviously still computing everything. I dreamt about it, and I woke up and I said like, okay, today I'm gonna prove that I will be making up even more time working faster. My wife was like, no, you don't need to do that. You don't have to prove anything. You already proved that you finished 2 days earlier, that you already prepared stuff that you had to do for next week. You don't have to work even faster, overwork yourself, and you worked so much on the weekend already so that you can go home earlier yesterday or today even. You don't need to do even more. You overworked, you were 2 days early, you have stuff done that is supposed to be done next week. You have nothing to prove. Don't overwork yourself. And she's totally right. She's totally right. And again, to a fault, I blame myself for stuff that I don't need to be blamed for, because I am doing a good job. And even if I wouldn't have done a good job, I'm still reliable. As I said, I was at the office earlier yesterday, but he didn't know that. Unfortunately, I work alone in the room, although we are in the same building. And as far as I can tell, he, or the producer who asked me, was working remotely. So he wasn't there to know that. So the easiest way would have been that I've told him I was early in the office, I didn't make a lunch break. So me going home or leaving the office at 5 instead of 6 isn't that I leave early, I just made do for the time earlier. So yeah, that would have been the best solution. Again, even if I wouldn't have had worked as fast as I did, I worked reliably in the time that I needed to work. So I actually didn't leave early, I just didn't make a break, and that is something that I should have said. Yeah, there is not really a conclusion to this story, but maybe you can relate to that as well. And I feel like not to do this in a race or culturally thing, but I feel like it's really of an Asian thing. Although I feel German, I was born and raised in Germany, I feel German, but my parents are Indonesian and obviously also gave me a lot of the Indonesian traits. And for example, when I got to know my wife, I was getting bumped on the street. Someone was running into me and I said sorry. And she was like, why are you doing that? And when we went to Indonesia, and she noticed that that some people in Indonesia, not all of them, obviously, I don't want to be like put everything into a basket, but it felt like it's more likely for an Asian to say, or not necessarily Asian, some people who are living in the Asian culture are more likely to say sorry first before kind of realizing who was actually at fault. And I feel like that is maybe, I'm not sure if you're Asian as well, maybe you can comment on that, but I feel like it seems to me that that is a trait of Asian people. But please correct me if I'm mistaken. Again, I was born and raised in Germany, but yeah, obviously I was in Indonesia a lot when I was a child and my parents were Indonesian. So not sure if that is the correct perception from my part. But yeah, let me know if you feeling the same way, or how are you reacting to people kind of giving you the feeling that you have done something wrong, although maybe you are not at fault. Let me know in the comment section below. I would really like to know how you react to those kind of situations. And yeah, if you want to see yesterday's video, check out the video up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. Don't forget to drive safe and help me to get to 2,000 subscribers potentially by clicking the button up here so that we can see each other tomorrow in the next video. Thank you very much.